Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday Show. I'm Hammer, and I'm joined by my two favorite Wednesday Show hosts, Jen T. Maxey.
Hello.
And Terry Diamantis.
G'day, mate.
In case you're wondering, Terry is from Australia. Actually from Australia. I know it's a hard guess.
Yes.
How you doing, Jen?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm well, too. Terry?
Oh, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Better now that the show started.
Yes. How are you, Hammer?
I'm okay. I probably shouldn't have had that hot dog before the show started.
Oh, dear.
But I was so hungry all day long, and I usually do okay with hot dogs, believe it or not. So I know I'm not supposed to eat bread, but
fair enough.
But for some reason, potato bread doesn't seem to bother me as much as like bleached white bread.
Okay.
I don't know what the deal there is, but it doesn't bother me. That was like what, half an hour ago, and I still feel fine. So knock on some wood. I think we're going to be okay.
There you go.
Before we get to the topics, why don't you guys say hello to everybody in chat?
All right. Let me.
Because mine will be quick. Because there's JB, there's Jack Gunsky, and I think Green Badger, Cynic, and Corsten. I think that's everyone.
Yours was longer than mine. It's all good. It's all good. Hi, Hammer.
Hi.
Hi, Kiverdam. Hi, Rotten Corpse. Hi, Jack. Hi, Costin. And that's us. Oh, well, there's Terry, too. Hi, Terry. Don't want to forget Terry. I mean, he's right smack in the middle, so, you know.
Gunsky says, have I ever seen a wolf, or as it's known in Australia, a wolf? No, not in person, no. I don't encounter many wild animals. It may surprise you to learn.
I was watching a couple of shorts before we started the show earlier today, and this girl was sitting in her living room, and her dog was sitting in front of us, like a German Shepherd, or maybe a Husky. I couldn't really tell, and it was facing her, and she was sitting on the couch, and the dog went, "Raw!" And she looked at him and she says, "Could you be a little more quiet?" He goes, "It's so cute."
I'm sorry, I did miss Kiverdam when I went through the Rumble names. Sorry about that, Kiverdam.
Everybody send Kiverdam a heart.
Did it? Yes.
We send her a heart. Before we get into the topics, or now that we have everybody in chat, let's get to the topics. I misspoke there a little bit. These are the topics we won't get to tonight. The first one is Oct25. That is 2 days from today. It's Friday. And supposedly that is the day that Trump and Rogan are going to do their podcast. I'm not sure if it's going to be live or it's going to be recorded. I thought he always did his live, but I don't really follow Rogan, so I don't know. But it's supposed to happen Friday. Whether it's released Friday, I don't know. But that's what Oct25 is. McDee's, you all heard that President Trump went down to McDonald's and did a little stump for...
What? This is news to me. It hasn't been all over Twitter at all.
Well, not necessarily talking to you guys when I say... I'm talking about people who are watching the show or listening to the show. But the location that Trump went to, the actual store, has been attacked by people on Yelp. They're all giving it 1-star reviews and calling it a shit place to eat.
I can imagine they would.
Yeah.
Did you know that he was not actually employed by McDonald's? That it was actually a photo
he was actually not employed. That was he was lying to everybody.
Yeah.
Misinformation. And then finally, we were talking before we went live on YouTube about Lunchly, the clone of Lunchables by which Paul brother is it? It's one of the two Paul brothers. I can't remember which one it is, but issues with mold in the cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, it's because grocers are just putting them on the shelves and not refrigerating.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're just, okay, we'll just put it on the shelf and then leaving them go, and they get warm and they get mold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're not in the refrigerator where they're supposed to be. So, yeah. So, and the person who's quote unquote found this problem is a known hater of the Paul brothers. So they're kind of like,
there's got to be plenty of those.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a little controversy going back and forth. We can get into it if it's important, but we'll see what happens. I'm really interested in talking about Trump, but and there's like a couple other things that are happening in the news that I didn't bring up tonight. There was the whole story with Tim Pool, him closing shop. You brought that up on
and
on Rumble.
What's his face? Matt Christensen.
Matt
ending
Blonde.
things with Blonde.
Yeah, we should probably talk about that. Even though it's not on my list of topics, we should probably talk about that because I'll just say it's one of my top favorite shows. I don't want to get into this one's first and this one's second and this one's third. I don't want to get into that, but
you've spoken highly of Matt Christensen's live streams before.
Well,
leave it at that.
Yeah, I've spoken highly about the show and about him, and the dynamic is great. It really is. As a matter of fact, I don't donate to shows. You don't see me do super chats or anything like that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I do with Matt and Blunt, but not through super chat. He has an option. You go into his website and you can donate on a monthly cycle. You don't have to even do anything. It'll just take the money out of your account every month. And that's how I donate to him. So nobody knows except for the people I've just told tonight that I donated to him. Right. He's the only person I donate to. You'll never see me, for as much as I like the other shows like Monkey and stuff like that. The only people and I have done a couple of times with Monkey, but the only person I ever really donated to was Matt, because it was just, I never really found anything wrong with the show. Nothing about the show ever annoyed me, or anything like that. So I like him. I like the dynamic between them. She's all right. I mean, Blonde's I like Blonde. She's okay. She brings certain things to the show that the show should have. She's pretty, and she's not afraid to say whatever she wants. So she's edgy and spicy and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And she's got a sense of humor and a very unique point of view. So those are things in her favor. Matt is very based.
I do like Matt Christensen.
He's very thoughtful man, a religious man, but not above, some crude humor from time to time. So
there's only one time one reason that I ever super chat, and that's I have something I want to say to the person streaming, but the chat is too busy for me to be sure that they would see it if I just typed it in chat.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to tell Monkey a joke, for instance, I would super chat it because he might not see it in chat, whereas he has to read the super chats.
Right.
Well, the only person I've ever really kind of donated to was one guy, because 3 of the games that he recommended were ones I actually walked away happy with, and I figured I should give him at least a thank you for that much. And then the other person was Satsu, and that's purely because of Leo.
Yeah. Okay, so Keegan says, is Matt hot too? I have no idea. I cannot.
Is he hot? Is he hot?
Because you were saying that Blonde was pretty. So
yeah, she is pretty. Funny thing is,
you only see say that he's attractive, but I can't tell.
You only see these people from like the shoulders up. You don't really see too much. I mean, I don't think Blonde ever really even shows cleavage, but Blonde is a mom and she's in her 30s. So she's not hot in the sense that you would think like Margot Robbie hot, but she is very pretty. Right. She's very attractive. She has a gorgeous smile.
She's got a nice face.
Long blonde hair. Very, very attractive. I wouldn't say hot. Matt is bearded, which a lot of women seem to appreciate a beard. I don't know what the deal is there. I struggle to keep myself shaven if I have to, but I'll grow a beard and it just happens. I don't know what the deal is there. But
it's not so much a beard as it is a well-groomed beard, because it shows that. But one, I think having a beard is kind of masculine because women don't grow them, so it's like a secondary sex characteristic. But also, if you've got a well-groomed beard, then women will see that you have some level of interest in your appearance, and I think that is appealing to them.
I can't tell you, like I said, I can't tell you how attractive a guy is. You'd have to get Jen's opinion about Matt if she knows what he looks like. But I think he's better than average looking. Best I can
Yeah,
tell
I've
you.
got no idea. I think most men look like just guys. I don't really have a way of assessing which ones are good. And aside from the obvious, like obviously if you're Danny DeVito, then you're like 4 foot tall and you've got like goofy features. It's like, okay, I can recognize that he's not a particularly attractive man, but
As I understand the background, he was a single guy for a long time and realized that being single is not where it's at, that he should probably put his efforts into getting married. And when he made that decision, 6 months later, he was married.
yeah.
So obviously he could get a girl pretty quick. And now he has 2 kids. So
Wow.
he's grown a family. Yeah. And he's turned to the Bible.
Right.
He's become a religious person. So yeah, he's pretty impressive. And the thing is, his show is, he makes jokes about the show that he does. He says it's a duct tape production because something's always broken. And I know how he feels. First of all, I could say that. But his show is better produced than this one is. Because he's been doing his a lot longer than I've been doing mine. And
plus he's making his for money. This is just for fun.
He is living off of his show and living well off of his show. And he only does 2 nights plus videos.
And Green Badger over on Rumble says that he was never a big fan of Blonde. I mean, I liked her channel back when she made her own content. But I haven't watched her in a very long time.
You prefer shaved, so well, that's the death of me. I'm not shaved. And then, does he have a cute laugh? He has a cute laugh. You'd have to listen to him. You have to listen to his show.
Yeah. Does he make you cringe the way that Kamala does when she laughs?
Oh no.
Well, then he's fine.
So, but in any case, 8 years of working together, these two, to the point where they know each other's families. They've met each other's families. They've met in real life. I mean, they're not. It is his show, and she's on his show with him, and he does the majority of the talking. Right. But they are, or at least were, very close with each other's families, kind of deal. So, like,
I'm guessing it was some kind of falling out between them. Then, if she's leaving,
from what I've seen, she just lost her fucking mind. I don't know what happened, but we saw some DMs about it. He said that there were DMs that were a lot nastier than what he was going to show, but he did show some DMs. But I don't know what happened. She just, something clicked in her, and she just, I'm not going to be on the show anymore. I haven't been wanted to be on the show for the last 2 years. Yeah, I mean, she was just like, she just went from, best friend in the family kind of deal, part of the family kind of deal, to I never want to talk to you again.
That's crazy.
And he said, well, we should probably do one more show and explain all this to our audience, because they got like 3,000 people a night watching the show. It's a pretty large size for a show. And she said no. She put out a tweet, didn't tell him she was going to do it. Put out a tweet saying I'm out, or in long term, but basically just said she was out. And so we didn't get a goodbye from her on live or any of that kind of stuff. She said it would be too hard. Obviously, she's crying and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And Matt was a little soft when he first got on and started telling everybody what happened too. So I can understand that. Something that you've been together as partners for 8 years, and it ends like that. That's pretty traumatic. So I can understand them both feeling that way. But if you're going to do it, you got to pay for it with your emotions. You have to be stand-up person and say, well, this is going to hurt, and you do it anyway.
Yes.
Kind of deal. And she didn't do that. So Matt says he has no interest in talking to her ever again. That's pretty sharp.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. So yeah, he got on the show. He did a show. It basically looks like one of his typical Wednesday shows where it's just basically him talking. So he did the show by himself. He does have a friend, Frank. Not our Frank, but another Frank. That's a friend of his that has been his co-host from time to time when he's needed, she's having a baby or something like that. He has Frank on to co-host with her. And actually, Lauren Chen has co-hosted once.
Okay.
So, but because I donate, he sent an email out to me saying, look, I know you did donate to the show. Blonde's left. If you don't want to donate anymore, just let me know and I'll pull you off the donation list. And I said, no, man, I'm here mostly for you and the videos. I love the show. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy watching you, Blonde. I went through the whole spiel. I just went with you about how I enjoyed it. And I said, I'm not changing. As a matter of fact, if I can find a way to swing more money with you in this position now, because first you lost Tenant and his dog just
decent of him to do that though, to actually contact you.
Well, there's a whole list of things. He got Tenant, which was bringing in money. That's gone. So that happened. He had before Tenant left, he had an embolism in his leg and was in the hospital.
Ooh, geez.
Right. And then Tenant, then his dog died.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And now his co-host for 8 years is left. So it's like his life is like, and he moved on top of all this into a different place. So all his life has been tumultuous the last year and a half. So
sounds like it, yeah.
So I was like, if I can find a way to donate more money to you, that's what I'm going to do. I didn't get a response back from him because I'm sure he's sending out 3,000 or 4,000 of these emails to people who are donating to him. So I didn't expect anything back. But I said, I understand that she's gone. I said, but don't abandon the format. You know, if I can make a suggestion, because he's very sensitive about people telling him how to run his show,
right?
Much more than I am. And I said, and he mentioned on his podcast that, you know, maybe this one man, one girl kind of thing is probably not a good idea because it leads to this, you know. And and so I sent him in the email. I says, while I have your ear, you're contacting me about money, so I know you're going to read this. Don't abandon the format just because you have to remember this lasted 8 years. It was a successful format. Just because it ended poorly doesn't mean everyone's going to end poorly. You know, just having a based man, religious man on one side with you know, a good sense of what it is to be a man, and then having a spicy, pretty girl on the other end. That's a great format, you know, to go with. So don't let what happened with her make you change the format of the show. I mean, I'll still support you regardless of what you do, but don't let that sour you on this. I don't know if he's going to take my words to heart or not, but
probably not. I mean, you got to remember, he's probably getting 1,000 replies.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll get to it eventually.
And the thing is I don't want to say anything on Blondie's behalf because I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going on in her head. Like, there could be a lot of things or nothing. I don't know. I don't know her personally. He does. So, for him, it really has to be a shock because you'd think that your friends could tell you if they're struggling or something. But
he took some responsibility for it, too. He says, I've noticed for the last 2 years that you haven't been 100%. And I didn't do anything about it. I didn't say anything to you. I just let it fester. That was a mistake on my part. But her big complaint was that she couldn't do anything besides the things that he wanted on his show. And there's limitations to YouTube. We all understand that. But he said, well, you have your own channel.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping you. So it was weird.
No, it is unfortunate that it happened because they seemed like such a good pair. Like
they were.
I don't watch the stream, but just from what I've seen of the stream, like clips, they seemed like they bounced off each other really well. They seemed like they were well suited to stream together. So yeah, I don't know
good chemistry. Yeah,
I don't know what clicked inside Blonde's brain, but it is unfortunate.
I couldn't think of anybody to replace her. If this would have happened a year ago, I would have said Lauren Chen. But to be honest with you, there's a big difference. Maybe people don't see it. I feel like I'm the only person saying this, but the talent for doing a produced video is one set of skills, but being entertaining live is an entirely different skill set.
Yes.
You know, if you watch Matt, he can do both, but Blonde can't. Blonde's great live, but if you've ever seen her do her produced videos or live streams on her own channel, she's terrible.
Yeah, I remember way back when she like made videos on her own channel, and I watched them because
Yeah.
I liked what she was saying, but yeah, her production quality was not
Well, yeah, there was
as
production
good.
quality, but she didn't have good guests. She didn't interact with them well. She didn't ask the right
Yeah,
questions. It's just, and she kind of hesitated, and there was dead air, and there's a lot of things. It's like Sydney Watson, right? If she does a produced video, they're pretty snappy. They're pretty good looking. They're funny. You know, the
yes,
Hell Gondola thing and all that. You know, it's Welcome Back to Hell. She can be funny, and even her promos that she does. She doesn't just
yeah,
play a
yeah.
promo. She actually creates her own promo for the company that's sponsoring her, and they're funny. But when
Yeah.
she's live, she was with that. Who was that guy? Isaiah somebody that she was live with.
Oh yeah, I know who it is. I can't think of his
I
name.
can't think of his name either. She was terrible.
So
And then for a while she was with Jeremy, and she was terrible there too. I was like, I told him, I says, don't get Sydney Watson whenever she's terrible live. And he
Yeah,
wanted, and somebody else mentioned Melanie Mack.
right.
You know who she is? She's a Twitch person.
I know who she is in terms of
yeah,
like
she's the
I
brunette.
know what she looks like. I've seen
She's
her
a
face.
she's
all
a
over
yeah,
the-
she's a 40-year-old, 20-year-old girl.
Yes, that's a good way to describe her.
Yeah. She's kind of good live, and she kind of fits the mold, but she's religious and he's religious. Yeah,
She
it's not
also
gonna
she
become a
also
religious show. Go ahead.
Melanie also takes a little bit of she's a little bit overkill on the anti-LGBT shit.
Is she?
Yeah.
Well, it's not like Blonde didn't have the nom de guerre of what was it? Blonde Fuhrer.
Yeah,
that was what she was known by. So being a little spicy probably wouldn't be too big of a deal. But as long as she didn't try to get you demonetized,
yeah.
she wouldn't be a problem.
Melanie Mack's favorite word is one that you can't say on YouTube. It's the one that refers to the homosexual gentleman, and is also the name of an English meatball and also a bundle of sticks.
She's just one of those ones where I can agree with her on a lot of her takes on it, and then there's some times where I'm like, no, you sound like you're hating on people. You know, don't go to hating on people.
I think it's worth pointing out there's a difference between anti-LGBT and gay people. Like, I'm anti-LGBT. I think anyone who identifies with that movement is probably not someone I'm going to enjoy the company of.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean I don't like gay people. You can be gay and not be part of the movement.
Keeperdam says Brittany Venti can replace her.
Oh God, no.
Oh, there you go.
No.
Brittany thinks that you can measure the age of a person by the height of their heads.
I'm not saying she's smart, but I'm saying like.
Well, it's not like Blonde was perfect either. She had some pretty unusual, frenetic kind of questions, and like you can tell if a person's being criminal by certain facial structure.
I would still say no, because part of her take was to call everyone who was into the anime basically pedos, because she would measure the heads of the characters and assume the age of the character, and therefore you were a pedo.
Yeah.
She's a little bit like I am absolutely on the hunt for actual pedos. But
is Brittany Venti actually blonde? I thought she had curly brown hair.
Oh, okay.
She does, yeah.
Kiwi's clarifying. She didn't mean Brittany Venti. She meant Brittany Renner.
Oh, okay. Different.
I don't know.
She said Venner by mistake, but she meant Renner. Brittany Renner, and I don't know who that is.
Keyword fighting her keyboard.
Yes.
Poor Keith.
I don't know
now that I know that he means Brittany Renner, I don't know who Brittany Renner is.
I don't know who Brittany Renner is either. Is she Twitter, or Twitch, or is she YouTube, or what does she do? What kind of content does she have? We need to get Keyword on the show again.
Let's see. It's taking a while to search, but on Instagram, on TikTok.
I don't belong here. I'm at work.
I don't know much about who she is.
I don't know who she is. I'll have to look her up when we get off the show. I can't look things up like that when I'm running the show. Brittany Renner. That's no relation to the actor, is it? What the hell is his name?
So. She doesn't look like Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. Yeah, Jeremy Renner.
It wouldn't
He
hurt
fought
at
Pearl?
all.
Okay, I'm sorry, John. I keep interrupting you.
you're good. It's just like a lot of the reasons these people aren't really pickable is because of drama from YouTube.
Grandma.
You know, like you go to Lauren's, I was going to joke about Lauren Southern, but she has such a pit list of shit that goes along with her. And I was going to say it as a joke, but there's actually a bunch of new people coming out because of the Gamergate 2.0, and some of them are female, and a lot of them have a fairly decent take on why their games are shit right now. They're aware it's because of the politics.
Oh, just quickly, Green Badger on Rumble says Elijah Schaefer. That's the guy's name.
Yep, that's it. Good job.
Thank you.
Tracking that down.
It is a little true, though. You do kind of have to be, I wouldn't be picky with your women, but a lot of women don't do well as the interviewee because I think it is that fear of actually hurting somebody's feelings. A lot of women are really like, I'm going to tiptoe around you because if I actually ask the question I want, I'm going to hurt your feelings. You really want a blunt woman or somebody kind of a little bit autismo. Like, I'm blunt because I don't always realize I'm being too blunt, you know?
No, but like you do have to have a certain willingness to offend. That's true. That it's like you can't be too delicate if you're trying to entertain. There needs to be some.
I can't imagine Lauren Southern subbing in for Blonde either.
No, I don't. Oh,
she's too Canadian. Like as much as she does,
she's too Canadian.
No, it's just it. Like a lot of her shtick is mixed up with Canadian politics, and Matt's show is about American politics. It's why I was like, I was a joke because she's blonde and she's pretty and she's not stupid. She's smart, but she's not American.
A troll.
You know, and she's done stuff before that I still don't agree with her throwing shit at the boat. You know, I'm like that was
right. She's got a much different approach. She's definitely a troll. She's not. They're for me it would be a significant difference in personality. I don't really have a problem with her activist stuff, her activist past, because she's not really doing that anymore anyway.
No, if I did throw you a Canadian though, I would throw Jordan Peterson's daughter just to troll.
Oh, Michaela.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a pretty blonde chick and kind of spicy too, so she fits.
She would just make people read. I'm sorry, Terry. I'm a troll too sometimes.
The show was Matt and blonde, but I don't think there's a requirement that the person hosting against him has to actually have blonde hair. But
no, I mean they could rename the show. I mean, it's called Matt
I'm sure they will.
Yeah. Wasn't it Beauty in the Beta for a long time?
It was Beauty in the Beta. Yep.
So I think, I mean, if he's unwilling to keep the name, he could just go back to Beauty in the Beta, and then as long as whoever he replaces blonde with is beautiful, and I imagine he's going to pick a beautiful woman because marketing,
right?
The name will fit.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go back. I don't think Matt's a person who'll go back to something. I don't think he'll come up with something new, even if it doesn't work very well. He'll go forward. But
fair enough.
But
Matt, if Matt ever does just a singular show with Michaela, though, they could name it "Problems with Communism."
So I don't know what he plans to do. Those are only two women I thought of. Neither one of them. I mean, Melanie is good live, and she would be kind of a fit, but she's immediately rejected because she's with Jeremy. You know, she's doing his show, so it doesn't make sense for her to do Matt Blonde too, or Matt's show, whatever that's going to be called.
You know, it's too bad. She's a little bit too busy at the moment, and she's definitely not a blonde. But if he could borrow Gina Carano for a year, wow, that would be amazing.
Gina's kind of base, though. Is she really spicy enough to be on a show? I mean, you have to understand, one of his favorite things is there's a football player in college. His name is spelled Kanigah or something like that. So they made a little sounder where they separate the name into 3 syllables. So they stop. It's something that he does with his show. There's a guy that donates to him all the time. His name is Mike Hawk. Blazing 420, and he says it that way, so you don't. If you say it fast, it sounds like something else. Well, if you take this football player, I'm sorry, if you take this football player and you say his name real fast, it sounds like the N-word.
Well, the thing with Gina is it is because she was making a joke that they got so mad at her. She just was like, I don't want to change my pronouns to bee-boop, you know?
Yeah. She did. She changed them to bee-boop. Beep-boop.
You know? Like,
make fun of it. Yeah.
And it wasn't meant to be mean. She was just like, no this isn't for me.
You're just kidding around.
No, I think she could be spicy. I think if she's limiting herself right now, it's because she's, I mean, I don't think she could do anything while she's in a legal battle with Disney.
Right.
You know, because they will use anything they can against her because they're losing.
Who is Drew Afalo? Is Spicy AF? I don't know who that is. You're gonna have to send me. You're gonna have to send me your list of people that you're subscribed to, Kiradam, so I can look up these people. I'm always looking for new people.
I was gonna push a new person too from the Gamergate, but that's because I like that she has really flamboyant. Her name's Moxie Dame, and she
the name.
Yeah, well, okay. So she's actually fairly nice looking. I'm not a man, so I don't know what men think is sexy, but I love her hair. She's got the red hair. But she does hang out with a lot of the Gamergate guys. She does a lot of talks on a lot of what's going on in that demographic, and she's well aware of what's going on with the communist shit. She has a little slogan shtick that a couple of those guys have borrowed, where she's talking about, have you ever offended somebody?
Never.
Have you ever have you got caught out in trying to apologize for fixing the problem, and all you managed to do is fan the flames? She's got this quote that's really, really well done, and she's I wouldn't put her alone as an interviewer. It is one of those things where she's nice in a conversation. She's really good at getting you in a long-term conversation. But I do think she's the type where she would need a guy to kind of help her out with the edgier questions. Because I know she wants to ask them. And when she interviews the guys, they're like, you don't have to be worried about asking that. Like, just ask it, But when she's being guided with her coworkers, she does really, really well. But yeah, pretty redhead, knows what's going on in the game, has enough YouTube experience to know what's going on with the YouTube shit, because there's a lot of drama there too. It's hard to say. You could throw out people to Matt and he'd do fine. He just really I wouldn't put everything on himself, not with Blondie, because 2 years ago she could have talked to him too and been like, hey, maybe can I take a break for a month or two?
Yeah.
I'm just stressed. You said she's had kids. Sometimes that can do stuff to you. But she didn't. So I'm not putting everything on her either, but she's still a responsible adult.
Well, you guys know that it's been going around. I don't know how 100% this is, but it seems to me to be true that when you're on birth control for a period of your life and then you go off, that the change in how your hormones works makes you almost into a different person. Men that you find attractive while you're on birth control, you don't find attractive anymore when you're off it. You pick a different mate.
I've heard that, yes. I've definitely heard that.
And I have a feeling that probably is kind of what happened with her as far as the show's concerned, because she didn't have kids for the longest period of time. She got married, went off birth control, had kids, and that's when she started having problems with the show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I've heard the reason is? Because it tricks your body into thinking that you're pregnant. That's what birth control does.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're pregnant, you look for different things in a partner than when you're not, because your brain goes into mother mode where you want someone who will protect. Like you don't go for like the bad boy types so much. You go for the softer, gentler types. So a lot of the people then come off the birth control and no longer find their husbands attractive because
they're betas.
They're fucking up with their hormones.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, we've been on the topic since the beginning of the show. I don't know what he's planning on doing, but I'm going to stick it out because I think whatever he's going to come up with is going to be just as good, if not better. And this is kind of an opportunity as well as, a problem. So
No, I mean, he's very good at what he does. So I'm sure he'll come up with something.
Green Badger says Dangerous Spaces would be a decent co-host, and they already work together. Personally, I don't think he necessarily needs a female co-host. No, he doesn't need one. Tim, Dangerous Spaces' first name is Tim. Actually works with Matt right now as he coordinates his what used to be the call-in show. He takes care of his Discord server and stuff like that, and he's been on the show. When they were on Tenet, he was actually on the show, and he's from Australia, I believe, or he's at least Australian. Yeah. So, and he's been, you see him in Monkey's chat all the time, Dangerous Spaces. So it's not like he's just something that, for Matt. You see him in Monkey Stream. He's around the internet all the time. He would be, he could go back to it, but while Matt was doing his Wednesday show on Tenet, Tim was kind of his co-host at the time, and it was pretty boring, to be honest with you. So I don't know if that would work out. Nothing against Tim.
Well, the truth is Tim actually has a lack of sense of humor. Like,
I think so.
His teammates have more of a sense of humor than he does. You'll tell him a joke and he's really to offend by that. Like, easy. All I've ever done is joke with him about getting a beanie hat with a beard.
Oh, we're talking about two different Tims. You're thinking of Tim Pool. I'm talking about Tim Dangerous Spaces. They're two different people.
Okay.
Yeah. But we can talk about Tim Pool, because that's the other part of this. The first part was Matt and Blah, but Tim, what's going on with Tim? That kind of astounds me too. Terry and I were talking about it on Rumble before the show. This man's got millions of dollars, and his complaint is that he can't handle all the work that's involved with running his show. You got millions of dollars, man. Hire somebody to help you.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah. You would think. But I think he's just got enough money that he's like, you know what? I could do that, or I could just stop. No, I think I'm just going to stop.
I actually understand that perspective, because there was a company that produced video cards. Me being a computer guy, I'm going to go back to computer stuff. There was a company called EVGA that made video cards for computers. And it was the most customer friendly of all of the big names in the industry. You have like Asus and Gigabyte and all these MSI, all these people who make video cards using NVIDIA's chips. And EVGA was one of them. But if you had a problem, the people at EVGA were all like, hey, we'll take care of you, man. Send us your car. We'll get you new one, get you fixed. And they were all just great people. And you could talk to them. They would tell you, oh, yeah, you can do this, and you could modify this, and this works here. And they were engaging very well with their customers. And there wasn't any real problem with the company. It worked well. Then you have these other companies like Asus, who are like, Gigabyte. They don't even take returns. They're just like,
right.
fuck you. You got a problem with your card, send it to us. Oh, there's nothing wrong with it, send it back. Corporate-ish. We're worried about making money. We don't really care about you.
Of course.
The owner of EVJ was a single guy who owned the company, and he had like 15 employees, and he's older, and he just finally says, I don't like the way NVIDIA is doing business with us. They're selling their chips for far too much money. We're just going to close. And that was that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just walked away from it.
I also think the bigger a company gets, the more likely it's going to become like that.
Yeah.
Like if it's a single dude, then like he can be that or not be that. Whereas if it's a company the size of, McDonald's, or Coke, then there's so many people involved. Mm-hmm. There's so much importance on making money that you just can't be as, nice to the customer as a small company can.
And you get a lot of one hand doesn't know another hand is doing.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of that kind of stuff too. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Tim. Is he shutting down entirely?
I don't know. I saw a video where he said he was gonna have kids. Like his wife either his wife is pregnant or he's gonna start trying to have kids. And maybe that is like, I don't know if he was trolling or if he's serious. That's the thing.
I could see that. I mean, he is at that age where, like, if you're gonna, you probably should.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Mid-30s, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not old, but like the older you get,
he's old enough that it makes sense to be looking at starting a family.
Yeah, he better get to it now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, he does have the money to just focus on that. And yeah, why not?
I will say it's more important how old his wife is than how old he is.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if his wife is young, then maybe it's still fine to have kids. But if his wife is in her mid-30s, then yeah, get on that soon. You don't want to take too many chances.
Tonight's outro music. We're in the M's, so the outro music is M for Madonna. So True Blue, Papa Don't Preach, Vogue, and Like a Prayer. I managed to fix the spelling because I had PAPS for Papa Don't Preach.
Okay.
So I fixed that before. I fixed that before.
Yeah.
Usually I don't. Usually I screw it up. But so go ahead and get your votes in, and we'll pick one. Have you guys got don't tell me what your preference is, but do you guys have a preference?
I'm not a huge Madonna person, so I just kind of went with the one that was most familiar to me.
Okay. What about you, Jen? Do you have a favorite amongst the four?
Like a Prayer was always.
You weren't supposed to say the name.
Yeah.
Poisoning the well here. Like a Prayer is your favorite? Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Sorry to lay down.
Keith says sperm deteriorates too. It does, but not at the same speed that eggs do. Like there's a finite number of eggs you will physically run out.
There's a little bit of myth behind that. You'll hear a lot of women talk about how sperm declines over age. You really have to do a little bit more work about that because how many sperm cell? Do I get into this or do I not get into this? Let me think. Fuck it, I'll get into it. How many sperm cells are in one ejaculate, one orgasm from a man? How many sperm cells?
2 billion? I don't know.
Jen, do you have an idea?
No, I can't remember.
All right. Generally, because you can't count, every person every time, but generally it's 500,000 per orgasm. And in time, when you get really old, that will go down by almost half. You'll lose almost half. So instead of having 500,000, you'll only have 250,000. So yes, sperm does decrease over age. There's no two ways about that. But considering the abundance that you have, that's not really saying much of anything.
Yeah. And plenty of women in their late 30s and older have had perfectly healthy babies. Sure, there's exceptions to everything, but
once you get to your 50s, you're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Not for men. We can do it at 90. I mean, look at De Niro, Pacino have all had babies at 90 years old. So
yeah, there's exceptions. I mean, it's not like there's a buzzer that the second you have your 35th birthday, oh no, your eggs are bad. No, of course
and
not.
It's not really a deal with people's perception. This is coming from the medical community. It's not a lot of people.
It's one of those things where they recommend both sexes check themselves. Because both ends could be having problems, or one end could be having problems.
No, but I think the thing is that the older the woman is, the higher the risk of things like autism as she ages.
Yeah.
That's the issue. But I mean, it's not like the day before your 35th birthday, you have 100% chance of a healthy baby.
Yeah.
You wake up the next morning, tough shit, all your babies are autistic now. That's not how it works.
What I was trying to say, this is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of how the medical industry treats this. They categorize everything and they say, well, once you hit 35, it's not 30. It's not what the red pill people will tell you. Red people will tell you it's 30. It's not. According to the medical industry, it's the actual number is 35. And it just, at that point, they consider your pregnancy geriatric. Their words, not mine. So they make the difference. They say, okay, you're 35. It doesn't mean you can't have kids. It just says that at this point is when you're going to start to see potential problems that you wouldn't see before 35. Where you were unlikely to see.
Like I said, it's not like there's a buzzer that turns the chance from 0 to 100. It's that the percentage of, like, the likelihood of issues gradually increases the higher
the longer
you
you go
35.
until you get to about 50 when you enter menopause and everything stops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we all get pregnant at 18? Well, if you're married, yeah, my personal opinion. If you're already married,
I
sure.
would say it depends. I mean, I'm not saying that your 18th birthday present should be a baby. Like, that is obviously absurd. But I mean, I do think it's a problem that we've moved away from having kids young. Like, the average age that a mother is when she gives birth has gone up dramatically, and I don't really think that's good. I think maybe 18 is a bit young, but I think getting pregnant in your early 20s should be the norm.
Yeah. I mean, everybody understands how women, well, I would say most men, maybe that's a bad option too. A lot of men,
Yeah.
some men understand how women work as far as reproductive cycles and all that kind of stuff. I've looked into this extensively. And you're born with a certain number of eggs, and those eggs last for a certain amount of time. And as time goes by, those eggs deteriorate, just like everything else in your body deteriorates over time. So you are the most fertile when you're in your early productive years. And we have to understand that there's, mental, spiritual, emotional stability all has to be there. And that's why we have an age limit of 18, legally. So I'm 100% behind that. But yeah, typically the younger you are, the better chance you have. Your eggs are much more active and much newer, so you have a better chance of getting pregnant.
In case says the age of fatherhood has gone up too. Yes, it has. And that's less of a problem because of the reasons we were just outlining, but it's still not good. I think ideally people should be having kids in their 20s, not in their mid to late 30s.
Yeah. See, people don't realize that there's also another drawback to this. If you get pregnant and have kids at 35, that child is going to have less time with their parent because you're going to die earlier.
That's so true. Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you have to consider. And people can argue with me about some of these things. This is something I get pretty controversial talking about these things. But from my perspective, I believe that women control sex. So some people don't agree with me. Some people are very angry when I say things like this.
Well, they shouldn't be, because that's common sense.
Well, you would think. Whenever you believe something well enough, you also believe that it seems like it's common sense. But everybody has different opinions. I'm not sure if I even want to continue talking about it. I don't want to get the channel in trouble. So, and I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want people yelling at me. So, we got another couple of minutes. What are we looking like on the outro music?
It looks like 4 votes, and 3 of them are for Like a Prayer. So
4 votes?
That's all that's showing up on my screen. Maybe it hasn't updated properly.
How many people are watching on YouTube?
8, by the looks of it.
Why is YouTube so light? Well, everybody's over on Rumble.
But let me refresh. Maybe it is more than 4. So I'm going to refresh my stream.
If I look at the actual stream right on YouTube, it says 8 concurrent users.
Yeah. That's what I had too. I had 8 viewers and 4 votes.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Get your votes in there.
But my internet seems to be going a bit wonky because it still hasn't finished reloading the web page.
Hasn't reloaded you mean the YouTube page? The broadcast? Oh.
So
But StreamYard's working just fine, right?
Yeah. But I'm talking about reloading the YouTube to see the
numbers. Yeah.
But yeah, the chat has just not loaded, so I don't know.
All right.
Okay. Oh yeah, it still says 4 votes.
Everybody's on Rumble. It's a terrible problem to have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think if you want to vote, get in quick because there's only 10 minutes left in the show.
Yeah. A little slow tonight. I'm talking too much. I don't know why I'm talking so much tonight.
So we have a 5th vote. So there's now 1 for True Blue, 1 for Vogue, and 3 for Like a Prayer.
Green Badger says M for Morbid Angel.
Yes.
I thought it was Metallica for M.
Yeah. Well, you've got Megadeth, you've got
Megadeth.
Metallica, you've got Motorhead. There's a lot of really good bands that start with M.
Yeah. Who do we have? Michael Jackson was last time. M
I think
for
so.
M.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. We'll let it go another. Well, we can't let it go too much longer. I'll let it go for another minute.
Green Badger was the 5th vote. He says on Rumble that he just voted.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 6 votes now. Sorry. So he was the sixth vote.
The floodgates have opened.
Yeah. The number of votes has gone up by 50% from 4 to 6.
I can talk people into almost anything.
Seems so.
You want to try to go over the topics again a little more in detail? A little more detail
Sure.
this time. Which one do you want, Jen? Do you want to pick one?
All right.
She has to open them back up because she's forgotten what they were.
No, you got them in the title. We kind of did lunch leaves, didn't we? So
a little bit.
What about McDonald's? Let's do McDonald's. We technically talked about McDonald's, but in a different story. So let's talk about.
Well, we have.
Rotten makes a good point in chat where people might not be voting because they just don't like Madonna, so they don't really have a preference as to like which one wins.
They're boycotting me. Is that what you're saying?
No, not boycotting. They just don't care. So they don't,
Madonna, I hate her. I'm not going to vote for her. Nobody vote for her. She's bad.
No, I mean, but like if you asked me to vote for my favorite, I don't like Lady Gaga song. I don't have one because I would just pick one randomly.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows Poker Face, right?
Yeah, because of South Park.
Right. Because of South Park. That's why.
That's why I know it.
Yeah. So yeah, McDonald's does have 2. First of all, it has the visit. It's actually 3. There's the visit. There's the targeting by people on Yelp, but there's also, I don't know if you caught this in the news, but McDonald's is having an E. coli problem with their burgers.
Ooh,
did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Funny how it just seemed to pop up when Trump popped up. Isn't that coincidental? Yeah.
Huh.
I wonder.
I'm still reeling from the fact that Trump didn't actually apply for a job at McDonald's.
He didn't. He lied to us. Trump's a liar. He is a liar. He is McDonald's Hitler.
Yeah. He is. That's him exactly.
Did you see Philly D today?
I don't watch him, no.
Yeah, I watch him every day just because he gives me the news a lot quickly. I like the format a lot. Not so much, what he's saying. I skip a lot of what he's saying because he likes to put Trump down all the time. But he called Trump Hitler a good 20 times on his show today.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yep.
So I want Philly D to tell me where in the Hitler speech does he hear WWF talk?
Yeah.
Where? I want him to point it out.
World Wrestling or the World Wrestling Federation?
He was making all kinds of links between people. He was like, he was trying to link Tenet Media with somebody in his staff. And, Tenet was Russia's, and Russia's all communist, and he was just trying to link everything he can to try to find a way to make Trump bad. And it's just you have to understand.
He's the enemy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the enemy of the people. Our democracy. I pledge allegiance to our democracy, not to our republic for which it stands, but for our democracy for which it stands. Because that's what it actually says. Anyway, this is going to get wound up. The next 2 weeks, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Biden just did a speech where he called him a threat to our democracy again after saying he's going to tone down his language. He just did it yesterday.
Yeah.
So he hasn't toned down shit.
No.
It's only going to get worse. Next 2 weeks because they're panicking. Have you looked at the numbers for them?
Yeah. Every time they let her talk.
I don't know how up to date they are, but I do see the poll results on the YouTube that you've got above the chat.
Yeah, those are current numbers.
It's not looking good for Kamala.
She used to be leading.
Yeah.
Now it's like there's a website. You go look. It changed like every hour. So I mean, I put that up there, but I'm sure it's changed right now, and it fluctuates. Sometimes it's a little bit up, sometimes a little bit down. It just kind of rumbles around. But he's been consistently up for like the last week. And the website is polymarket.com/elections.
Okay. But yeah, if he's got 65 to her 35, that's a pretty big advantage.
And then the polls all have him, except for Walls' state. I think he's Michigan.
I don't know
Which one he's in. But if you look at the 4 states, the one that's all the way to the left on the map is his state. But then Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and what's the other one? Minneapolis. Those 3 states are all Trump now. They used to be all Kamala. Now they're all Trump. So the numbers have changed. Even Nevada, which was going to be Kamala. These are all swing states, by the way. Nevada is now also going for Trump. He's up by 3 now in Georgia, where he was only up by 0.8. The thing is,
that's a big improvement.
He's leading and he's going away. As time goes, he's getting better and better and better and better. California, his numbers are up by 3. Texas is up by 4 now. That's up from what it used to be. Florida is now +9 and Texas is +7.
So Opinionated Scotsman says Jimmy Carter voted for Kamala, apparently. So I just have to clarify, is he still alive or is Opinionated Scotsman making
No, he's a Democrat. He's dead, of course. All the dead Democrats vote. I'm not sure what the line is there. I'm not sure if we just got our channel blasted or not. But yeah, I mean, he's 65 to what?
Okay, so
34?
he's still alive. I wasn't sure if Opinionated Scotsman was making a joke about dead people voting for Democrats, or if Jimmy Carter is still alive and has said that he's going to vote for Kamala.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Republicans who are warmongers and who are part of the military-industrial complex that don't want him in there. And they're willing to bow down to their military and rhino status to try to sway the election. And what's happening is people, I think somebody, I don't know if it was Philly D or who mentioned it, but Trump is like mud. In the sense that if you throw mud at him, it just makes him bigger.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so all these Republicans who are all saying, well, I'm going to vote for Kamala, like the Cheneys and all that kind of stuff are supposed to be Republicans too. What they're going to find is that Trump's going to win and everybody is going to turn their backs on these people.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because Trump is very big on loyalty. So if you've openly come out against him, he's not going to appreciate that if and when he wins.
They've already done it with Liz Cheney. And I guess she hasn't learned that if you betray the people and what the people want, the people will remove you. And that's exactly what happened.
Actually, I hear from a lot of Republicans that it's kind of a sense of relief that she's jumped because a lot of people didn't like her anyway.
Just put a D in front of her name and push her off. All right, you want to be a Democrat? You want to vote for Kamala? Well, put a D in front of your name and you just stay over there and you just do that. And we'll count you as a Democrat. Because if you're going to do all the things that a Democrat wants, you are a Democrat.
Yeah, of course.
But you'll see all these people are all people who would like to see us attack and start wars and stuff like that. They're all rhinos, Republicans in name only, RINO.
Yes.
They're all, and we're kind of expelling the bad parts of the party, really, what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of the job. If you don't appeal to the people that vote, then you get voted out and you lose your job.
Okay, I've ended the poll because there's only 30 seconds left in the stream.
I think that's wise.
I think I mentioned to you earlier when we were on Rumble that I had one song that I actually didn't have the radio edit queued up for tonight. I have the a version that's a little bit different than the original radio edit, and that was Papa Don't Preach.
Okay.
No, I had Like a Prayer. Like a Prayer is the one that won.
Yes, Like a Prayer won.
Yeah,
by quite a margin. 71%.
That's okay because that's the one that I wanted. Anyway, as a matter of fact, the file name on my computer says Madonna Like a Prayer Hammers version. I can't find out who actually did it, so I just said, well, fine, then I did it. I don't care. No one's going to see my computer besides me. I can do something. Get away with it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, we didn't really get too much into the Trump Rogan thing, but that's only 2 days away. So for those of you who are into Rogan, that's going to be a big issue. Or if you're into politics, that's going to be a big, if it goes live, it will be this Friday. So it's only 2 days away. So that's your homework for the weekend. Watch Rogan and listen to Quigley Down Under. Watch Quigley Down Under. That's your homework assignments for the week.
Yes. And as I said in chat, I think Dr. Ham Sandwich is the ideal candidate. He has a D and an R next to his name. So he's perfect.
All right. You guys have anything else?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Let's go ahead and get out of here. This is going to sound a little different than what you're used to as far as.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Where's my outro text? There it is. All right. Let's finish this. Thanks, fam, as always, for chatting with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday's show, remember, meetings are live every evening except for Tuesday. Most shows starting at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 6 days a week. Host and start times are linked in the description down below. Don't forget about the Rumble pre-show. That show starts around half an hour before YouTube. Starting to do a lot more exclusive content there, and I'm going to be making a major update to the way Rumble's presented that might be more attractive. I'm glad to see people are out there actually watching the Rumble show. I was considering ending it because people weren't really showing up there, but I'm heartened by what happened tonight. Nice to see people out on Rumble.
Quite a lot of people there.
Yeah. Of course, we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.